All right, good morning, everyone. Today is NFP. Got news coming out here in about 19 seconds. I just wanted to be on so we can talk about it. I will at some point be jumping out of my chair making me some coffee because I got up really quick. So let's see what happens with NFP this morning. And I have my highs and my lows where I think it could target. All right, so we went up first and then we've gone lower. That's very key to understand. We're not going to do anything with it at the moment. It's just something we want to note. So all-time highs happened with that wick. That wick gave us all-time highs. Isn't that convenient of the market? And then it's probably going to drop really, really hard here. So if we look on the 15-minute, we have this, a high, low, and higher high with news, but I'm not a fan of targeting that right now. You can almost guarantee that it was not going to just wick lower and then run super high. You can almost guarantee that it was going to wick higher, grab the liquidity, and then drop lower because there's nothing higher. It's all-time highs right around here, so it doesn't surprise me. Now, we could run back up to these highs and actually pull the liquidity above here because there's people that have got in short here that probably set their stops up here expecting that price is going to go lower because we hit all-time highs. Good morning. Glad to have you this morning. We just had NFP news just happen. We had a wick higher, as you can see right here, above really all this liquidity that's sitting and making all-time highs. We've gone lower, and now we're just in some consolidation. I'm expecting price to. I'm bearish for the day, but we need to see some structure form, and so that's what we're just sitting here waiting, seeing if structure wants to form for us. So right now, guys, we're just sitting here waiting for price to form. Obviously, with open being an hour away, 50 minutes away, it's going to be a little quiet this morning as we simply just wait for price to make and form. If we see some structure, we'll consider taking it because the news is out of the way for the news is out of the way for the day. Let me show you what I'm referring to. Let me go here. Let's see if it works. Oh, give me a second. Let me pop it up on my screen. All right. Sorry. All right, there we go. All right, so if you just type in FX calendar and you go to Forex Factory, you will have the news for the week. So there's Sunday, Monday. Here is Friday. Friday has 8:30 a.m. and we have 1, 2, 3 red folder news events, and the main one is the non-farm employment, or non-farm payroll is what they call it. 10 a.m. there's some other stuff, but those are yellow folder news, so we're really not concerned about that. We're just looking at red folder news, and that happened at 8:30. So that means the rest of the morning is going to be pretty smooth-a-rooski, and we don't have to worry about anything else in regards to news. And we really just need to concern ourselves with structure. And as of right now, if you look, I have the 15 minute up. What the heck? I have the 15 minute up right here. Give me a second. Okay. I don't know why that's doing that. Oh, there we go. I have the 15 minute up right here, just to give us context. So we just took out this range, so this is irrelevant. Everything in here is irrelevant except either one of these lows. I have it drawn on here for a breaker, for a high, low, higher high. We break lower and we could hit this low. Now in some cases I've seen news candles like this where it comes back and it will tag these highs first. So we just need to see what price wants to do right now. But I am bearish on the day. I mean, how can you really be bullish? And the reason I say that is if you were here for NFP news, NFP news basically wicked high. It has two stages. It has its initial wick and then it will wick higher, or wick higher, wick lower. So this, if you were here for the opening, from right here, it flashed higher and then closed lower. So leaving this wick behind, that's what candles do. But the direction of the wick is extremely important. Okay? In this case, it flashed above the all-time highs. It went to all-time highs on a news candle and then closed lower. I'm expecting that to be. Now, here's the only way I'd probably be bullish is if we come down to the 50% level relatively quickly, and then we rebound or bounce off this 50% level. Oh wait, we're not even. We're on the 15 minute. Let me go to the 4 hour. See if there's anything better here. I like this level here. The low right before the move higher. We go to the highs. I think I'll keep it here because I like how this overlaps with this fair value gap that's sitting right here. Good morning, Ro. Glad to have you this morning. We're going to be a little chill. I'm not talking the whole time because we got basically another hour before open. But I'll give you some context of what I'm looking at. We also have this here that overlaps with this 25% very nicely. What is this level here? It's a low, high, lower low, and we broke higher. So it looks like it's not even respecting it for the most part. Oh, that's a 4-hour time frame. Let's go down to the 1 hour. But I'm liking where these levels are forming these quarters, right? I'm liking it. So it makes me confident that I have my highs and lows put in correctly because of where some of these levels are overlapping. This 25% level is overlapping with this high. When you see overlap like that on quarters, that's important. I'll be trading my micros today, so it will be off screen. The other thing that we have here, do you guys remember this level here? This is an opening range gap that we have from 2 days ago. This is what I'll be checking out and looking for price to come into. I really want to see price to come into that level. Morning, BF. I only did tape reading before the news. Good analysis, BF. Yeah, I haven't looked at ES at all. Morning, Tiff. Yes, we are ready for some NFP action. Looking forward to maybe get some decent price action. Yesterday was fun, but the price action was really bad. It just was horrible. Just till the end of the day. Then the end of the day, it breaks through most of it. We'll see what happens today. As I said before, what is ICT? Raul, that's everything that I'm teaching. ICT is a inner circle trader. And his concepts are everything that I teach. I'm assuming you're joshing right now. For those that joined, here's what I'm looking at. The news candle, I like to watch the news candle form, because on the news candle, it tells me what direction we may want to go. So this candle, it shows it right here. It wicked higher first and then closed lower. But I've seen it wick lower, then wick higher, and then come back down. So I really wanted to see how it opens. And it wicked higher for all-time highs, and then it closed lower. So I am bearish on the day. I'd like to find short setups. I don't want to go. Who wants to go long when you're this close to all-time highs? I mean, I don't. I mean, right now we're actually really far away, to be honest, in regards to, like, it looks close, but I mean, that's 160 handles. So So for TGIF, that's thank God it's Friday. If we look at the weekly candle here, the weekly candle started here, went lower, and then went higher. Made all-time highs, and then the TGIF candle, an ICT concept that he talks about, is that it should retrace 30%. And he says it can retrace in the morning, it could retrace in the afternoon. It really depends. So he talks about looking at price action to really determine when that's going to be. If you put on a fib tool, let's just do that here. %25 is right here. We're at that 25% level. And he does it from the weekly candle, not a daily candle. So this would be the 25. So this is 25. So from about here to about here. Is his, or so. That's about, this is the area of where you'd want to see price retrace, but we're already here with NFP news. And if I'm honest, I'm pretty sure that goes out the window when you have Friday news. NFP is a completely different animal, and I would not use TGIF as a way to come up with your trade. Doesn't mean it won't still work, but NFP is NFP, and ICT talks about not even trading NFP days and waiting till the following week, because that's when you're going to get your really good price action for beginner traders. But this is, I probably won't be using that in my analysis. Do we grab any liquidity here? This is a nice structure. Got it. Makes sense. Morning, John. So we have an institutional order flow entry drill right here. Price comes up into, well, I'm looking at the 30-second right now. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's see if it looks. So we have an institutional order flow. Hit this fair value gap and we move lower. We ran some liquidity that was sitting over to the left of us, and we've touched this low here. Filled all the fair value gaps up. And let's see, what I'm reading is really to get an idea of how price actions reacting to certain key levels. And so we filled all the fair value gaps here. There's nothing else higher, so unless we want to pump, we should continue lower. I like this reaction right here. If we inverse, if there's a fair value gap that's formed right here, I'll play that to these equal highs and this high right here. I would have taken this, but I just want to see how price is. Playing this play here is more conservative than getting in long right here.
Order filled.
Stops to break even right there.
Order submitted.
Probably going to get stopped out right there.
Order filled.
Yep. Stopped out right there. Probably just going to get a wick and then potentially move higher. But once we hit these equal highs, you had to move your stop to break even to protect your account, because it could reverse after it does that. There's no reason it should go back down, except that it did grab liquidity right here. So I was hoping it was going to grab right here before we took that. So break even trade. So we played off of this breaker, this high, this low, high, lower, low. We broke above it, and we came back and we tagged it. And because I was wanting to be conservative, I waited until this inversion closed. We got in for here, was hoping to target this, had to bring our stop to break even right here. And the reason I have to do that is because once we grab these relatively equal highs, because we're redelivering off of this bullish breaker, price could still come all the way back down to this breaker again and move higher. And it could also come back into this this inversion gap that we played off of. So it's respecting the consequent encroachment. So you could have not done a mechanical close, and you could have let it still play out. Your drawdown would have been about 30 ticks or so far. So I was in right here. That would have been the target, and that would have been a close below. But as soon as we broke above those highs, that's when I bring my stop to break even. Let's see if it saves us. I call that a win right there, my friends. Well, maybe not. I mean, I thought, look at that. It closed within the fair value gap, and then it came back up here. Here's the 1 minute. There's no entries on the 1 minute except for this breaker. Potentially making some low resistance liquidity to the upside to be broken. Be nice if it was broken to manipulation so we could go short afterwards. Here's a 2-minute fair value gap. The only thing I don't like about it is we don't really have a swing high. Excuse me. All right. So how many of you guys were here yesterday for the 50K challenge that I did? What'd you guys think of it? I thought it was fun overall. I mean, I liked being able to take some more risky trades that I honestly would not be taking on a live account, but I really enjoyed it. We're respecting this 1-minute fair value gap right here. We're probably going to push through this liquidity right here. This 30-second that we played at the beginning is technically still valid. So we'll probably run this liquidity to this high right here is my guess. That's what, if I was the market makers, I'd be doing. All right, so it did run. That 30-second play did win if you did not do your mechanical exit by moving your stop loss to break even. If you let the trade play out and you only played the close below this 30-second, it would have worked. Yeah, that was a failed attempt, and the only reason I failed is because I decided I over leveraged. I mean, I think what did I have? Five or six winning trades in a row, and I'm pretty sure that was the losing trade. Well, I mean, Tiff, I really wasn't too concerned because like, I shouldn't even be trading the day before NFP, and that's what I told everybody. And our goal was just to have some fun. All right, did we close? We closed above the 2-minute by far. That makes it, we're too high for another entry long. Trash was a nice way of putting it. This is probably going to run. $30-second. You could play an entry right here towards these highs. We just have a lot of room down here. I'm looking at this 30-second right here. We just closed above it. Let's see what price wants to do. I like it because we did have some nice movement here from this low as we've gone higher. Basically, nice momentum. Do we close above this or do we close below this 30-second? So that trade is invalid. That failed. That was a failed trade. It doesn't mean this still can't win, because we do have some nice momentum higher and we're in this fair value gap here. So this is just an entry model. Yeah, that ran really quick, didn't it? We got in on this 30-second. It did respect it, but I didn't do a mechanical, or I moved my stop to break even for the mechanical close. $20 minutes till open. I'm watching this level right here, and I'm like, man, I want to get in long right here. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's just gonna keep going. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it even though I want to. So look at the 5 minute here. What is the 5 minute looking like? So we tagged that fair value gap and we closed below it. Really coming up to this level right here would be nice. what I would be doing, well, I'm not 100% sure. Am I waiting the open? Yeah, I'm waiting everything. I'm waiting for something to show up. No, I'm waiting for the open. I'm waiting for price to give me something. I'll take something before open right now. I've seen nice price action between NFP from the news to open. There's some good price action that happens. So I'm not afraid to take something like we did earlier, but obviously when open happens, I'm guessing some volatility to be thrown in there, and we'll probably get an idea of what direction. I would not hold a trade through open, I can tell you that. I would not be doing that. The 4 hour, let's see what the 4 hour looks like. I mean, that's not a bad time to wait because it's only 30 minutes after open. And that first 30 minutes can be really volatile. If you guys have never done this before, I took my, if you guys export all of your trades, export all of your executions on a CSV file and drop it into ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to analyze your trades, it will give you its thoughts on it. But then you can also you can ask ChatGPT what day of the week are you most profitable? What hour of the days are you most profitable? And it will actually break down all your trades and tell you your win rate based on the hour of trading. So I did that, and actually my afternoons, I knew this already, suck. My afternoons were not very good. I would give back profit. And my most profitable time was between 10 and 11 a.m. So, just something to think about if you're just curious on that kind of statistics. I love that stuff. So, I'm all for that. Here's that move that I knew at some point it was going to happen. It's probably just going to run right here. I really just want to go enter, grab it, and sell it. That's a nice reaction. And this is what I'm looking at. It to hit that. Yeah, you can export any of your data, but it's just nice. I mean, because you can only get the information that let's say Top Step provides as far as data. But for ChatGPT, you literally can just ask it anything and it will analyze it for you and give you the answers. I mean, it's really cool. It's nice to have that, and it does it obviously super quick, but I've done that a couple different times, but it's definitely worth it. We just swept that high. We just swept this high. Yeah, Apex doesn't really have anything. If you go on to trade, do you use Tradeovate or do you use Ninja Trader? I use Tradeovate. They have a couple different things that you can use on Tradeovate, but it's enough for you to get an idea, but it has graphs, and I like visual graphs. ChatGPT won't give you visual graphs. Oh, well, they'll give you bar graphs, I think, but there really was an entry here that we could see, but it did hit this high, and that's really what I wanted to see. Yeah, just take the CSV file, drop it in there. Do you guys have, I have the paid version of ChatGPT, so I'm able to do some more, but I'm pretty sure you can still just drop the file in there, and on the free version, you should be able to do it. We got about 10 minutes, guys. Because we're so close to open, I'm not going to take any more trades before market. I'm going to run and grab a coffee or make myself a latte. So I'll be right back. I'm going to leave the stream up. Oh, that's sweet that you can do it on the free account. So definitely do that. Let me know if you guys are doing it now, BF. Let me know what your numbers are, or what hour of the day you have the best win rate. I'll be right back, and let's see. Does this put this on here? I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some coffee. Well, that didn't work. So I'll leave this here, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We got, what, 1 minute, 34 seconds? Made it just in time. Woo! Good. All right, did I miss any trades? Miss anything that showed up here? We had this tiny one. Oh, that closed right there on the 926 candle. I wouldn't have taken that. It's too close to open. We did hit these highs right here. Based on this, I think at open we pump a little bit. All right, so that is the opening bell. Let's see what the market wants to do. From grabbing this liquidity, we have a high, low, higher high. And if we do push lower, that's really what I would love to see. That would be a potential entry. All right, this is, all right, let's see what happens here. If you guys like this, consider giving me a like on the stream. I'd appreciate it. If you like the commentary and everything else. All right, so we just broke these lows, or broke that swing low. We have a fair value gap right here. We have some resistance here. I do like this here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little big. There's our oops. If you guys were like, why didn't I take that breaker? I was looking for it to hit that body to come up into this fair value gap. Now that if we come back up here with these wicks, I'm not as interested into it. It seems like bullish price action. I would look at playing this inverse. Now we don't have much to go off of as far as push higher, so it's not as attractive to do a bullish inverse right here to go higher. I do like the idea of going lower, but I really wanted us to hit this level into this fair value gap. And you got to understand that that fair value gap, look how big this fair value gap is. It's deceiving. It's 15 handles. So it could go all the way up into here and still be a valid trade because we're within this fair value gap, because it's an overlapping fair value gap. So going to be a little cautious on where my entry is on this. We are redelivering from this 5-minute or this 15-minute fair value gap right here. Here's the 15-minute fair value gap, bouncing off the consequent encroachment. I honestly could see us coming back up to the data highs and then go in lower. But price action's pretty clean right now. It's been pretty clean for the most part, and it really respected this 30-second on that move. So that would have been a winning trade if you got in at the breaker low. I just was waiting for it to come into the fair value gap. That's the thing about the breaker, guys. There's so many different entry techniques. You can use any entry technique in regards to the breakers you want. You could have used, I consider the low, the close, and the mean threshold, or a fair value gap as an entry, as an opportunity for an entry. Do you see this? I don't like that. You see how we just went lower and then we literally just turned? This makes this fair value. This makes this interesting. Okay, so we tapped that, except I just don't like how we came up here so aggressively, so I'm not using that as an entry. And I'm hearing somebody walk in my house, so it's slightly distraction. I'm actually long from the 5-minute fair value gap. Way to go. I hope it's a win, man. Yeah, these are crazy. It's. I feel ya. I'm feeling ya, Tiff. I'm feeling ya. What I want to see is an aggressive candle and a retracement. I'd like to see. Oh, I like that too. $8. 1 second, guys. Oh, there's going to be a good setup, BF. There's definitely going to be a good setup. The issue for most traders is, do they got any gunpowder left to take that setup? That's the hardest part. I mean, because how many times do you sit here and you're like, oh, he's missing all these trades, or man, I'm missing all these trades, and then you get this FOMO, so you're like, maybe this one's it. And then you wait, and then you miss out on the perfect setup, and you have even more regret. So I don't feel bad if this runs. I thought about getting in here again, but my what is it? Would be my wife's sister's son. What is my nephew? Yeah, my nephew showed up, so I had to send him upstairs. Summertime's a different beast. Summertime is a different beast altogether.
Connection lost.
Yeah, and absolutely. I'll put 100% on that one. You gotta wait. But I mean, I like this. This is a nice setup. We grab liquidity. It just, the way it came up, I just didn't like it. So I thought that the aggression of this 935 candle could just push right through, and I'm like, man, I'm in, and I got stopped out in 30 seconds, right? So, but it did stop, and it is moving down, so that's a missed opportunity in my book. Even right there, that's 20 handles. You're done for the day. 30 handles right there. FOMO is a person. It really is. It's in your internal thoughts, man. You got to kick those. It's like that. It's that drunk monkey on your shoulder, sitting right here. Little drunk monkey saying, "Oh man, come on, you can do it. Oh, look at that. Well, look what you're missing out. You need to get on that one. It's not going to hurt anything." It's a real estate term. In some of the training I did, they call them drunk monkeys. This little monkey sitting on your shoulder telling you all the things that you shouldn't do, or the things you missed out on, or how bad it's going to be, or all that stuff. So, kick that drunk monkey. To be honest, I expected it to see it run in this. So the only other thing that I might consider is, I'm on the 1 minute. What does a 2 minute look like? Is it a 2 minute? We do have a fair value gap that was left right here, and it's overlapping with this lower breaker. I like that. Let's see what it looks like on the 1 minute. Doesn't look like anything much on the 1 minute. The thing is, the more we see price action happen after open, the worse it's looking. Oh yeah, you're exactly right, John. Like, that's a huge, I mean, these moves are gigantic. It may not look like that. Here's 4 handles between each time frame. From here to here is 4 handles. So here to here is 4 handles. Yeah, that's huge. I like these equal lows here. We're pumping past this area right here. All right, so that's irrelevant for me. I'm not interested in that. There's not a fair value gap here on the 30-second. 2 minute, we have this fair value gap. Let's see where it closes. I need to wait 20 seconds. But it looks like it's just going to pump right past it. That you could target the swing high right here, but it's going to hit it before the 2 minute closes. You see that? Yeah, that's aggressive. Here's our breaker, but again, look at this giant fair value gap. So this is huge. Guys, don't be fooled. That's 18 handles. I would like to. Yeah, that's the 15-minute. The only problem is going long right here, your drawdown is huge. I mean, because it could just wick down here and still respect it and go higher. "24 seconds left. I'll probably take this for a long right here if we close above this, especially with this candle sitting right here. If we came down lower and then we wicked up, that would have been a no-brainer for me. The problem is we're not getting any retracements where it's wicking down and giving me a nice wick and a close about at my levels. I like to see these wicks lower. That just is like, oh, you're going down to manipulate, but you really want to go higher. It hasn't really done that. Look at these wicks. Look at these wicks, guys. Look how small these wicks are. I mean, this is the biggest wick we've seen, and I wasn't here for that one. We wick, and then we inverse this. I would have gone, I mean, it was right before open, so I wouldn't have taken it. But that, we're just not getting, it's kind of weird, to be honest. I hope it just doesn't run without us. We got equal lows right here. Patience, patience, patience. Your mind's probably running a million miles an hour saying, oh, I could do this. Oh, this looks good. Oh, it's going to go without me. Patience, my friends. We will get a trade. We will get a trade in. I like this wick into this candle here. I like that. Or wick into this fair value gap. I'm a fan of that.
Order filled.
All right.
Order submitted.
Drop my stop loss in there. In case my entry's right there. Stop will be at, okay, stop's at break even now. That's where I put my stop loss right now. I'm not liking that wick. I want to go for at least 10 handles. 10 handles is right there, about. Come on. There we go. All right, there's a push. All right, I'm going to scale there.
Order filled.
All right, I scaled right here. Now, I didn't, because of my copier, I'm not able to do any, I'm not able to scale at all. So I sold on all my accounts, but how many accounts did I trade on there? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm trading 9 different accounts. That was nice. That's a win, guys. That is a win for the day. That's the kind of move you want to see. Okay, so that was this was my trade. There was my entry. Once we hit this high right here, I brought my stop loss there, targeted this high, 17 handles. I think because I was on micros, it's not the exact same levels. So let me just see what the numbers were so I can give some real numbers here. All right, so my entry was here. All right, so my entry was at 1938 right there. You can see the gray line right here. You'll see the gray line. And then my fill was right here. So it's 14, 15, just about 15 handles. Yeah, so that was my trade right there. Okay. That's a win. Nice. Did any of you guys able to trade any of that? Any of you guys get that? Yeah, you got to stick to your bias. But as you can tell, your bias changes. Your bias changes all the time, right? What my bias is and will be still short. Like, here's the thing. Inner Circle Trader or Inner Traders Library. Here's the thing, okay? And I don't want to take too much time on this because we still got some nice price action that's headed on. When you look at a higher time frame for me is bearish. Higher time frame for me is bearish. That doesn't mean the narrative on the short term is not bullish. The narrative right now is short term. The narrative is like, okay, we're going lower, we're going to go higher before we extend lower. So I don't know how to describe it. I know my long-term bias is, or longer-term bias is bearish, meaning if I do take longs, I'm not going to take them for very long. I'm going to be out, but my extended moves, the ones that I have high conviction on, is going to be for those shorts. Because who wants to just hold on to a long position when all-time highs is right here, and we just hit it. That's not me. So I totally get the second guessing part because I've had to deal with that myself. And as you can see, even this move here, we grabbed these, we hit this breaker right here, and we found resistance. Do you see that? So this breaker right here is actually holding price from going higher. So just, I don't know if I can put, you can literally trade both ways. Exactly, BF. You can trade both ways. You just have to know that and be aware that if you're playing against your bias, be quick, be nimble, and get out if you need to. The biggest move for the day, I will guarantee you it's going to be a short. Is it going to be in the AM or the PM? I don't know. I mean, it could be either. So being able to distinguish between those two is very important, because I've heard other traders say, "Oh yeah, I'm bearish today," okay, and then they take a long, and I realize that that's the case, because you can have a narrative that's different than just short, because the narrative might want to go long before it goes short. So hopefully that helps. I'm liking this. Look at this 5 minute. So there's the breaker. We technically don't have to fill the rest of this right here, because this is a balanced price range. And on the 5 minute, we closed below it, and we've rejected it pretty decently. Let's just see. Let's see if a 10 handle stop loss would have allowed us to see a trade form. So 10 handles is right. Ooh, barely. You see that? This is why I like 10 handles. For the most part, the breaker works. 10 handle stop loss for breakers is decent. If you get a right entry, it won't run past 10 handles. Look at that. That's a huge move. That's 30 points right there. Oh, good point. Where is that? Let's see. All right, look at that. That's a great point, Raul. There's so many different things you need to consider, and just knowing where that gap was, look at how we filled that. Look how we filled that, and then we went down. Thanks for pointing that out, Raul. That's very insightful. Here's a swing low that we're probably targeting a fair value gap as well. Long term, do you guys remember a couple days ago when I pointed out this opening range gap? I think we might want to fill that. That's my overall target to the downside, if I'm honest with you. That's my downside target, is to fill this, or half of it, something of it. But that's where I think price is going to go. Now I want to put a quotations in there. It could be today, it could be this morning, it could be the afternoon. It could be on Sunday that we come down and hit it. I just know that this is going to be hit relatively soon. Now, for price to become bearish, before we become bearish when we close below that. That is when we become bearish. We have equal lows here. Well, it could be this candle too. We need to close below this, and I think we're moving into some bearish movement. But right now, all of this price action is very bullish. It's respecting almost every single fair value gap, major fair value gap. So you can see here, here's this fair value gap. This is a 2 minute and 1 minute. So we respect this one, we come back, we stay within it, and then we move higher. Now we're respecting this fair value gap right here. So this, because we just swept these lows, this would be, this is not an inversion you can take because there's a second fair value gap right here. So when you have two fair value gaps in the same leg, you can't go long, you need to jump to a higher time frame. So in this case, our fair value gap would be right here on the 2 minute. And if that closes, that could be a valid long. It doesn't mean it makes it an A+ long, but it does make it a valid long. I would probably call it a B+ because we are against resistance right here with a bearish breaker. But bullish order flow right now is bullish. So it's, if you're a gambling man, this is one of those gambles that's worth probably taking. It's a lower probability, but it has very low risk to reward because the stop is relatively small. You're basically going, I'm not going to take it. You would, sorry, that's the wrong one. We closed. Okay, we just closed, so your entry would be right here. Your stop is sitting down here for right now. We're targeting these highs. And once we hit this candle here, since there isn't a swing high, we have no spot to, when do we move our stop to break even? I'm moving it when we wick above the 956 candle. Okay, so once we get above 956, I would move my stop to break even. And we're playing the 2 minute fair value gap right here. And the reason why we're doing that is because we have this 1 minute fair value gap that it could find resistance at. So let's just put that on there so we can see it here. All right, so see that fair value gap? That's why we put it there. "43 seconds, if we close below this box, that's when you would want to get out. But because we have such volatility, I would recommend having a hard stop somewhere. And I just have it at this low at 13 handles. This is the 1 minute fair value gap. As soon as we hit that 1 minute fair value gap, your stop needs to be to break even. And if you have multiple contracts, you want to take some size off. All right, 11 seconds. It looks like it's going to go. I would get out now. Yep, so that trade is invalid. And the reason I said get out now is because of where the time was and how much we were moving down. I'm like, nope, that's a bearish movement. I'm going to get out. And so that's why you'd get out there. Now this is, like I said, this was a B+ setup because of where we were at as far as price action, but because price action has been respecting these PD arrays, it was worth a gamble if you were a betting man, right? Price still could go higher here. We just have our inversion rules that we follow that makes this trade invalid. Now, If you are already green for the day, you should not be doing any other trading. That's really that's the truth. You have to stop sometimes. That's why I didn't take this trade. Even though it was a trade that I liked, it looked nice, I'm not taking it because I was already green on the day. And I didn't give it an A+ setting and rating. If I'm going to take a trade after I'm already green, it's going to be an A++ setup. That's the type of trade that I'm only willing to risk when I am already green on the day. You see it consolidating right here. I want to see what happens right here. And let me clarify, I'm just realizing I didn't say that the second time. The reason why it was a B+ was because we are redelivering off of a bearish breaker. So we have this high, low, higher high. We break below it, and now we're running into that right here. So that makes this a B+ because we've already delivered into this. It doesn't have to hit this again if it wants to go lower. That's what makes this a lower quality trade. The 1 minute also, look at the 1 minute, how respecting that is. Even though we are looking at the 2 minute, it still did not close above that 1 minute. This is why you wanna thumb between multiple time frames, just to give you an idea of what price is doing. Good morning, Honey Roy. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Anybody got some good plans for the weekend? It's Friday. Last weekend I had a bunch of family in town. Tomorrow we're going to be going to the lake. My family has a big lake outside the city. So we're going to go hang out at the lake tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. Did you say equal lows? Yeah, I like this, and we're redelivering off of a bearish order block or bearish breaker on the 15 minute. It probably shows up on the 1 hour too, is my guess. So high, low, higher high. Where is that? Yes, not as pretty on the 1 hour. The 4 hour. So BF, what are your thoughts now with the close of the 4 hour? I'm curious. What's your analysis with the 4 hour close? bearish retracement and sell is my plan. I was just curious because you mentioned you were waiting for the close of the 4-hour. The 4-hour did close in this fair value gap, in this 4-hour fair value gap still, which is bullish. But it's hard. I mean, really, guys, when you're at all-time highs, you have to play price action. You have to play price action, and you have to be very nimble, because at any point in time, they could just tell the algorithm to go to all-time highs again and then go lower. All right, so we respected this fair value gap quite 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for 11 minutes. Here we have some equal lows here. I think we'll run for these equal lows. Well, that's not good. You see that? How it goes just about there. It tags the fair value gap. Let's see where it closes. It has 37 seconds left. If this closes above this, if this closes above this right here, that would be a bullish signal. I would not take it. The reason why is that leaves 3 relatively equal lows. 3 of them. And that, to me, will be broken. So if it does this and leaves it, I don't care. I'm probably not going to take a long. I'm going to look for a short opportunity into that, because that wants to be broken. For me to go long, I would really love this to be tagged. I would have loved a sweep below here, a bearish fair value gap, and blow right through it to run these and these highs. That is, in my book, an A+ setup. That's an A+ setup I'd be willing to put more risk on the table for. But it's not. It obviously doesn't have that. All right, so we closed above that for the first time of this 1 minute fair value gap. This is me tape reading. This is not permission to go long. But that tells me there may be movement higher, but honestly, I would love for us to wick lower here and then do that before we take out any of this low resistance liquidity, or run for this fair value gap right there. The bodies tell the story, man. That's the truth. Hindsight, this is a beautiful trade right here. Did we take this? I can't remember. What did we take? What did I take? Oh, so we took this play right here up to this high. And we played this side, the buy side of this market maker sell model. Very short term sell model on the 30-second chart. But we have a high, low, higher, high. This is the breaker of the on the 15-minute time frame. Right? So here's that breaker, high, low, higher, high. This line right here, that's our breaker. Let's call that the breaker here. Okay, and then we break low and we come up into this right here. I don't think I was watching the 30-second because hang on a second. Look at that. I didn't see that, guys. Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? Okay, we played the 1 minute. We played the break of this fair value gap right here. Okay, right here. And then we went long and we sold right around the breaker. Okay? And we were on the 1 minute time frame. We were on the 1 minute time frame. But look at this absolutely gorgeous 30-second trade that we missed. Guys, if I saw this, I would have taken it. Basically, it moved too fast for me to analyze. We have a breaker. Let me check the lower time frames. But we have this high, low, higher, high. Here's our breaker, or here's our breaker bar and our fair value gap. Look at that. It did both of the things that I wanted it to do. It comes up into the fair value gap and into there. You enter right there. That would have been an absolutely amazing short. And we missed it. Ugh, I missed it. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. That's major FOMO right there, my friends. You would have targeted those lows. That's 28 handles. Oh my gosh. Son of a gun. That irritates me. That would have been a nice trade. The 30-second is, I mean, price is fractal. So whether it's 1 minute, 5 minute, 30-second, 15-second, it all, price acts the same on all different levels. So, all right, so see how we haven't hit these lows? That tells me we're going to come back down and visit these. So any potential long here is sus, in my opinion. Very sus. Yeah, 30-second is legit. Because I mean, look at this. So this I forget I'm on it, but look at this, okay? So when you start seeing price action like this, right? You see this on the 1 minute. Let's go to the 2 minute. Okay? Or this is the 3 minute. So the 3 minute shows this right here. There's not much structure. I mean, it did something. So when you see a move like this, you have to say to yourself, on a lower time frame, this is a market maker sell model. Let's take that theory here. Okay? On a lower time frame, this is a 15 minute. This price action between here and here is a market maker buy model. So that's the 15 minute. Let's go down and let's check it out on the 1 minute here. So that was this area right here. This is the price action that I'm just referring to. This is a market maker buy model. Isn't that what I just said? So let's see if we can see our entry. Let's see if we can see an entry here that would have worked. Now, yesterday was extremely trash price action, so my guess is we don't have an entry, an ideal entry model. Actually, we do. It's right here. That's our entry model. So we break lower, we close above this. This is an inversion. We run these highs, and then we come back, we tag the inversion again, and then we run higher. Market maker buy model. And so it doesn't matter if it's the 1 minute or the 30-second, guys. You're going to see the same move, just with different structure on lower time frames. It's why you have to thumb through different time frames to see how the structure is, because when you see your model on the 2 minute, well, then you're going to take your trade off of the 2 minute, right? The 1 minute was right here, and that's what we were sitting on after we had this win, and obviously there was no entry for me. There was no entry for me to look at. If I would have just thumbed down to the 30-second, guys, I guarantee you I would have taken this trade. This is my model. This is what I love to see. Look how clean and clear. Literally, guys, if you screenshot this price action right here, this is a textbook example of what you want to see. Here's our short, guys. Here's our short. 30-second. Oh, isn't that a fake out? So it went below it and closed above it in one candle. This is still bullish price action. That sucks. But going back to what I was saying, if you were to take replay and you go to this candle right here, you need to screenshot this structure right here. You need to save it. If I showed you my desktop screen right now, you would see a market maker sell model on my desktop as my background. I see it every day. I see a perfect structure that looks like this, but it's for the full buy and sell model. And this is what I look at every day when I sit at my computer, because this is the most ideal setup. Fair value gap here, matching a fair value gap here. We wick up into it with a breaker right here, and we run for the swing lows. This is the most visually pleasing model I can think of. How much more visually pleasing can you get than that? This. I'm saying this because, man, I'm irritated that I missed it. Because this is the trade. This is the move. This is the play. And if you go back in price action and you look for this, you will see this 2, 3, 4 times a week sometimes. You have to thumb through different price charts, lower time frames, to be able to find it. You say model 2022 and breaker in the 1 minute? Are you talking about right now, or are you talking about in this price action, BF? Yeah, are you talking about right here? The model 22 that I'm seeing you talk about is right here. We have a high, low, a higher high. We break the low into this fair value gap, and we're redelivering to this fair value gap right here, which is the model 2022. I'm not a fan of his model 2022. Are you the model? Oh, are you talking about right here when it comes back up right here? This would be considered the model 22 right here when it comes back up and redelivers it. So yeah, this is the model 2022 as well. I didn't spend a lot of time on his model 2022. I've been burned a few times. The difference between the breaker and the model 22 is that the model 22, when it does come back up to it, it usually has this trend line, this slow creep higher that ends up, especially if you have a reason for us to go higher, if you really aren't careful on your higher time frame analysis, model 2022s are broken all the time if you don't identify the right bias. They work great on the proper bias. Breakers sometimes will have a quick move lower and then can still go higher. So that's why I prefer the breaker. It's just more visually pleasing, and you don't have to deal with all this crap right in between. Because for about 15 minutes, we chopped, then we pushed this level, and now we're just slowly moving down. And I really like these levels to be broken right here. But I mean, come on, why would we wick below this 30-second fair value gap and then just come right back up? I mean, it's starting to turn into some crappy price action. Gotcha. Oddsy, hey, welcome. Glad to see you here. Yeah, I mean, even the 1 minutes can be quick. And it's not that it's quick, it goes from one candle to the next. Is, for me, what makes price action or what makes certain charts too quick is I can't see the bigger time frame, or I can't see the bigger context of the move when the move can happen pretty quickly. So that's the issue with like the 30-second and 15-second is you really need to have down solid the higher time frame picture so that when the play plays out, you're confident in the entry. Okay? When you go up to the 5 minute, it obviously gives you more time to, okay, should I get in here? Let's look, let's analyze, just do our analysis. Let's make sure everything's looking good. You do that in 3 or 4 minutes and you're still there as long as price hasn't moved yet, and you can make your entry. As you become better at your analysis and you start putting the correct levels on the charts for you to analyze, you can have those on there beforehand like I did with this breaker. And once we hit that level, you now go down to a lower time frame and you start analyzing, all right, what is price doing? Is there an entry model for me here? And you can play those lower time frames with the higher time backing and support. Hang on a second. No, let me shut this door. Well, nothing here. All right, as far as time, guys, we're at 10:30. I'll probably play through 11 o'clock, probably about 30 more minutes. I want to see if price wants to move around 11 during that macro time. But like I said, nothing. I'm not taking no personal trades unless it's an A plus, A plus E plus. That's what I'm looking for. And I can almost guarantee you that A plus trades happen with large moving candles. So remember that play that we played? We had this large moving candle, we consolidated, and then we continued again. And then even after that, we did a nice reversal play, right? So we need this kind of price action right here. Stay out of, don't play with, don't try to get in. Like right now, you might be thinking, oh, I'm going to get in long right here. Click and trying to go for this liquidity run. Now, let's see what happens. But because we've had all of these trash candles here, it wouldn't surprise me if we just do a little wick and then come back down. Now, if it does run, that's great, but we don't want to get in before we start seeing good movement in price. And that's why you have to wait for the close, because you can see a large candle like this candle at 1022, and it's just this solid candle down, and you're like, holy cow, we're gonna have some good price. Oh, I don't want to miss this. I want to get in before it hits these equal lows here. So you get in right here, and then what does it do? It just reverses against you. You have to wait for closes. See, now that little aggressive candle that looked like it was going the other direction, just came back the other direction. This is why we don't play in this. You can do really short-term scalps. If you're in price action like this, it's really easy to, I shouldn't say really easy. It's still complicated. You could go short. You just take the risk. All right, well, look at this price action here. If you're really close to a payout, and you just need a few $100 or so to get to pass an evaluation account, you can play these candles. When they go to the high, you sell short right here, and then you sell, and then you get rid of it here. So you just make these 4 to 5 handle moves, and you just do it over and over. It comes lower, buy here, and it does it again, as long as it's within the consolidation. Once we break outside of consolidation, then you want to get out. Do we have anything showing up here? Nothing. 30-second, nothing. Based on this, guys, this is the magic box this is the magic box I'm watching. Honestly, I'd love to get in before we get to there, especially if we got a bearish fair value gap to run this low resistance liquidity. But for us to do that, we would need I would love to see a large candle and a major retracement with an inversion. You guys see this breaker right here? Low, high, lower, low. We grab this liquidity here, consolidate, run higher, break above this, come back into this fair value gap, and then push higher. Now, I wouldn't have taken this because I've seen breakers like this fail in consolidation, but it can work, as you see here. All right, based on this, guys, I don't see any other reason for us to stop. There's nothing here, guys. To the left, here's the news candle. I mean, it's just straight up open season. Let's see what happens. You are right. It is definitely bullish right now. Now, if ES hits the high before NQ, then any entry that we may take on NQ, we need to get out of. But I'm not getting in anything. I would love to see a retracement and then an inversion broken, but it's probably not going to give us that. Close above this level right here on the 5 minute. That's our last area of resistance. We got 3 minutes and 19 seconds on the 5 minute. All right, I'm going to go into an eval account. Good trade, man. Way to go. We'll see you next week, man. I'm going to look at doing an eval long if we close above this 5 minute. I'm not getting in. If we close, I need to see structure, but this is my confirmation that I do want to go long towards these data highs. "25 seconds. I'd love to see a retracement into this level here. This is technically a breaker. Low, high, lower, low. We're in our macro time frame. We're in the macro. So this is the time frame that I'd want to see price move. Really, I want to see at least into this fair value gap right here. I am only on an eval. I'm only doing an eval for this idea. I'm just looking for my opportunity to get in. Because if we go from here and we hit this, I'd pass one of my eval accounts. So just what I'm looking for is an entry to go long towards this high right here on an eval account. See if we can get a quick pass on. Definitely a more risky trade, but this is a bullish breaker to see price come into here for a bullish breaker. Sorry, a bullish order block. I said that incorrectly. This is a bullish order block. So you could do an immediate rebalance down to here, and then you could see it go higher. That would be my entry. $15 handles right there, guys. Come on. Okay, here's a red candle here. Let's see if this wicks down into here, and I'll take a long. Come on.
Order filled.
That was a bad fill. I was hoping to get right at that wick. This is an eval account. I repeat, eval. This is not financial advice. We respected the consequent encroachment. I like that. You want to see this fair value gap hold for sure. This is, if this fair value gap doesn't close or we close below it, I'll be out, because there's nothing until here as far as fair value gap, and then we got two order blocks sitting right here. Son of a gun. What are you going to do? I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to see what this candle does. Let's see if it wicks backs up. Nope.
Order filled.
No trade. They lost. That's why it's just an eval. Just an eval. Let's see if it respects this order block right here, though. Oh, John, did they really hit all time? Son of a gun. I should have seen that. Good call. I mean, that's why my trade didn't work. I wouldn't have got in on that retracement if we did not, if I knew that. Sorry about that. Yeah, it did hit 50% of it. I have that up right here for everybody else to see. That was poor analysis on my part. When I look for this retracement here in this 1 minute, I'm looking for data highs to hit, and I should have looked at ES to see where that was in relation to that. I wouldn't have taken that trade. So right now we're in this 1 minute fair value gap. Respecting that, but really we came back up. We tagged that fair value gap for a continuation lower. There's an order block. This is a market maker sell model. See how pretty that is? It just didn't give us a breaker over here. It did give us a model 22 right here. But at this point, I was already out for my loss, and so I wasn't looking to go short or anything. Again, just on an eval account. So willing to take more risky plays.
Order filled.
I'm going to play off of this bounce right here and see if we can grab this right here.
Order submitted.
Still targeting the data highs. That was my idea, and
Order
gonna get out
filled.
right there. Not liking it. I'm playing around too much on my eval account. I think I'm gonna call it a day. I can feel my body just getting tired, so I don't want to be making stupid plays even on my eval account. And I felt like I just did that again when I was already talking about how I'm seeing a market maker sell model. If I look at a market maker sell model and I'm playing the opposite of it, I'm taking emotional trades. So we're gonna call that a day for me, guys. I don't want to make any more mistakes, even though it's on just an eval account. I prefer not to blow eval accounts, ideally. So what did that bring me down for 3? Yeah, that's $1,100 on an eval account for just taking 2 dumb trades. So we'll be done for the day. Thanks for being here, guys. I look forward. We'll see you Monday. I'll be back on Monday having a good time. If you haven't, consider liking and subscribing, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Take care.